squash is one of my favorite things about fall. Of course, you have your butternut, also several different colors of acorn squash. This one's called delicata and this one is carnival. They all have similar flavor profiles and cook up about the same way. So I'm going to grab some favorites and head back to the kitchen. Now when you get ready to cut up your acorn squash, make sure you use a sharp knife, but also be very careful. If your knife starts to get a little bit stuck, don't force it, just kind of guide it through slowly and be as safe as possible. So what I've done is I've cut up my acorn squash into wedges and I cleaned out all the seeds in the middle, and I'm just going to get this onto a greased cookie sheet, flesh side down on one side. And then all you really need to do is hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper, maybe a little bit more oil, and halfway through the baking you're going to go through and you're going to flip them over so you can get that caramelization on both sides. So don't worry about mixing in any other spices at this point, because we're going to make a really delicious butter sauce to go over it after it's all caramelized. Our acorn squash has come out of the oven. It's nice and tender and caramelized on both sides. And over here all I've done is I've melted a stick of butter, and I'm just going to stir in some brown sugar, some cinnamon, and remember my little hint of secret ingredient, almond extract. So just a splash, get this stirred up, melt your cinnamon and your brown sugar into your butter, and then you're just going to spoon this over your squash. It just gives you a nice lovely fall flavor. All the warm spices that we love this time of year. And if you remember the pumpkin lasagna that we did a couple of weeks ago, this is the breadcrumb mixture that I served with that. It's just ground up ginger snaps, walnuts, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And this is just wonderful over your acorn squash as well. And this is a great side to use for Thanksgiving. I've served this a couple of times and it was a really big hit. And you know, we all need to start thinking about those Thanksgiving recipes. So you can find this recipe on cbs19.tv.